Thank you very much, everyone, for your patience today in joining us to talk about phase two of our State of Open, the UK in 2021 report. Some time ago, I was talking to Knut Blend, the economist working on the European Commission's report, and he mentioned to me in passing that the UK was outstanding when it came to tertiary education, our usage of open source software from the data that he had. So that sector has been very much in focus for me. And today we've brought together some of the people who were involved in the case studies across the UK from tertiary education and the charitable sector to talk a little bit to you about their case studies.
Hello, my name is Nigel Abbott. I work here at GitHub where I am the Northern Europe Regional Director. I am super passionate about open source, as we are all here at GitHub, as we believe that software is the world's greatest team sport, and you won't find a better example of that than open source and the power of good that it holds for the world software engineering industry. Open source in the UK is going to be critical to our success. It's going to enable companies to stand on the shoulders of giants, get to market faster and release better, more innovative products at notionally the speed of light.
I'm Dr. Kirsty Whitaker. I lead the Tools, Practices and Systems Research Programme at the Alan Turing Institute, the UK's National Institute for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. We work with researchers from 13 partner universities, as well as organisations in industry, in government and in the charitable sector, to bring together expertise in health, public policy, data-centric engineering, defence and security, and urban analytics, among many other areas, to ensure that we are benefiting from our expertise and harnessing the value of data to improve the world for the better. Our dedicated team of research software engineers and research data scientists have worked collaboratively with experts from all of those different areas from the beginning of the Turing to ensure that we are making our work as open and transparent as possible. We publish as much as we can under an open source license, and we contribute into the open source ecosystem. The Tools, Practices and Systems program aims to embed our ethical responsibility into the software that we build and ensure that our values of transparency, inclusion, sustainability and leadership are reflected in our contributions to the open source ecosystem. We know that we can only achieve our goals by working together, and how better to do that than as part of a global community.
Hi, I'm Danny Attias. I'm the Chief Digital and Information Officer at Anthony Nolan. We're the National Stem Cell Register, and we help patients in need of a life-saving stem cell transplant find the perfect match, whether it be in the UK or internationally. Over the last couple of years, we've been developing a brand new predictive search algorithm called Atlas. Atlas will help stem cell registers all over the world find the perfect match for patients in need of that transplant. It uses statistical methods and predictive search capabilities to plug the holes, the gaps in DNA information that might be a few years old and not the latest and up-to-date level of typing. It was really important to us to develop this product as an open source solution. We didn't want anything getting in the way from stem cell registers being able to find that perfect donor anywhere in the world, no matter what their resources are. It'll be hosted by the World Marrow Donor Association, who will enable access through a website. It will also be available through APIs to any stem cell register that wants to use it. This kind of thing would historically take us maybe 3 to 6 months to do by hand. We can now do that in under an hour using a series of automated test scripts so that changes can be made to the platform continuously to ensure that we're keeping up to date with the latest scientific research. We hope that Atlas is picked up not just by stem cell registers around the world, but potentially other communities, those working with stem cells in scientific research, or even by bioinformatics students as case studies in their university courses or to model other technologies on it. We don't know how it's going to be used. That's the beauty of open source. But fundamentally, we know that we've been able to develop a solution that we can use and that every other stem cell register in the world can use. And that for us is a huge win.
Hi, my name is Stratos Phillips, and I work at the University of Edinburgh as the head of website and communication technologies. The university has been and continues to be a growing supporter of open source. A number of our core systems, including the university website, student and staff portal, and virtual learning environments, are using open source technologies to deliver world-class learning, teaching, and content to universities' audiences across the world. Specifically, for delivering the university's web presence, the major shift from proprietary to open source was the decision to use Drupal as the platform behind the university's central web content management system, what we call EdWeb. Drupal's code of conduct aligns with the university's key drivers for open source adoption and working ethics, including increased flexibility, efficient collaboration, stronger customization, knowledge sharing, and a view to building common ways of working across the university. Awareness of open source and its benefits is steadily rising amongst both staff and students. But it's not only about the technology and platforms used. Our teams are putting the effort to support the growing collaborative culture by organizing events, providing training and toolkits, and foster an open environment of collaboration for both staff and students. The university's open culture has been expressed in more ways, such as ongoing effort and promotion for creation and use of open educational resources in their publications, hosting a Wikimedia in residence to support teaching and learning and to promote and empower staff and students to learn new digital skills. Additionally, use of open source has opened more opportunities to engage and collaborate with other universities in the UK and worldwide. Finally, it is fair to say that the pandemic has forever altered the educational sector. The hybrid model of working, teaching, and learning is here to stay. Open source platforms will help the university respond. Thank you.
Having two children at secondary school, I've been on record as saying how woeful I believe the GCSE curriculum for IT is. And I believe that if we're to address our digital skills gap here in the UK, we have to address it from first principles and all the way through a software engineering learning journey, which takes people from school through university into the professional vocations. We aren't investing anywhere near enough in this here in the UK, and the time is very much now.
Hi, my name's Tom Crick. I'm Professor of Digital and Policy at Swansea University, and I want to talk a little bit about how we use open source software, tools and infrastructure as part of our activities and work here at the university. It underpins all of our research and innovation activities across all disciplines and domains, but certainly computational science and engineering. And this is a recognition of the importance of openness and open tools as part of our digital infrastructure, all the way from open data through to open source software and tools, and now increasingly thinking about reproducibility, recomputability, and actually kind of sharing the outputs of research and how they can be shared across national and international research communities and domains. That interdisciplinarity point is really, really key, because then that links into our approach to the kind of culture and mindset for how we approach learning and teaching here at the university. And interdisciplinarity across STEM is a big theme, focusing a bit on computer science and software engineering, thinking about how we are going to develop kind of technical graduates of the future. This is a core part of our learning, teaching and assessment approaches. So that authentic assessment, exposing learners to these range of tools and technologies, because there's a recognition that these are being used. This is the fabric that underpins our society, culture, and the economy. So actually they need to be exposed to these tools and technologies to understand how they work and how they can be used to create useful and usable software for humans and for a range of different demographics and areas and disciplines. I think this kind of links that recognizing this is there's a societal kind of cultural piece is really, really important. This links to wider work that I and others have led in Wales over the past 10 years around national curriculum reform and qualifications reform. And actually there's this big focus on digital competence and digital practice. So recognizing in the context of creating future citizens of Wales, we want them to be digitally confident and capable. So acknowledging that digital competence is a cross-curricular skill. This is the same on par with literacy and numeracy, and recognizing that is more than just IT user skills. So actually this is about digital citizenships. This is about rights and ownership and behavior online. So actually how do we think about that in a compulsory education setting, and that is then leading into a range of post-compulsory routes, and actually then what more broadly into society, culture and the economy. So I think lots of things, interesting things are happening in Wales. There is increased prominence of open tools and technologies and software, and that is a key it's a key feature with our research innovation and our learning and teaching activities at Swansea University, particularly grouped around the £32 million computational foundry, but certainly across all disciplines and domains. Diolch yn fawr, thank you very much.
Business uptake of open source here in the United Kingdom has really been through stealth thus far, which is why I applaud the efforts of OpenUK and their mandate. It's something that really needs to be exposed to the board and the C-suite within companies, as they need to recognise just how important this is for a company's development going forward.
Thank you everybody who has taken part in one of these videos today. We really appreciate your time. And we also appreciate the time given by everybody who wasn't able to join the videos, but who took part in the case studies. We also have case studies in the report from both the Northern Irish public sector, from their financial organisation, and from Starling Bank. And Starling is a digital challenger bank here in the UK, which is almost entirely built on open source software. We see the same across others, including Monzo and Revolut. So thank you very much, Starling Bank, for being part of the case studies in our report. Now, I've mentioned already that we're going to have a whole series of these case studies, and we have them across a number of the sectors that the UK excel in. Of course, that includes healthcare, which has had a real light shone upon it during the pandemic, and where we've recently seen an open first policy shared by the NHS. We'll also include retail, a bit more in finance, and the energy sector, particularly interesting as our thoughts move to sustainability in COP26. Thank you everybody for taking part, and I'll send you all back to your tables.